This is Coyle from the University of Edinburgh. My classroom research with teachers during the last 3 decades across many countries focuses on the quality of learning in bilingual classrooms. Our challenge is to ensure that learning tasks not only motivate learners, but guide them along pathways towards deeper learning. So I want to share one idea which bilingual teachers say makes a difference. In a nutshell, it involves a shift to understanding teachers as designers of learning. The 6 ADiBE principles for addressing diversity emphasise teachers as designers of inclusive learning. This involves looking at learning tasks in 2 ways: the design of the task and the sequence in which different learners access the tasks. A good starting point is the principle, perhaps, of backwards planning. When learners understand the learning goals, backward design encourages learners to select ways to demonstrate their learning outcomes, which suit their strengths and interests and satisfies a range of outputs. It also encourages learners to add to or suggest alternatives to begin the process of shared ownership. This may involve, for example, constructing rubrics with and for learners, which plot different learning pathways. Now, whilst this takes time, it does reap dividends. So, what do we mean by task design? Well, the what involves making transparent connections between concept development, that is understanding subject content, and language progression. This goes beyond working with key vocabulary and phrases, although of course these are crucial. But as well, it requires making visible and using appropriate discourse functions, such as how to explain, how to hypothesize, how to discuss, to express and develop understanding. These are key to active learning and deepening conceptual understanding. The who focuses on different cognitive and language needs. It's not always easy, since it requires individuals to have success markers which guide them along their own learning pathways. Extending the type of tasks to include, for example, cooperative learning, independent learning, or class-based inquiry is made easier, of course, when teachers actively exchange materials and ideas, we share them. The how focuses on the sequencing of the tasks. Learning is not linear. Learners need guided choice using their own success markers to help them progress. After all, diversity will not be addressed through all learners doing the same thing at the same time. Also, the use of regular learning conversations in class encourages everyone to openly discuss their learning. During these conversations, teachers mentor learning rather than the learner. This means that students have a safe space to discuss learning strategies with each other and the teacher. It encourages objectivizing learning and confidence building for everyone. Learning conversations promote not only teachers as designers of learning, but learners too. So how does this work? Well, we start small and select an ADiBE design principle to focus on and check out the materials bank and website. For example, you could choose from experimenting backwards design, or selecting 3 or 4 tasks that introduce, practice and use appropriate language functions needed for the subject-specific concepts. Or you could develop learning pathways by creating rubrics with learners, which identify key success markers, or hold regular learning conversations with students to discuss next steps and make readjustments. All of these underpinned by a strong sense of successful learning for all. So the takeaways in this video are from bilingual teachers for bilingual teachers. Everyone needs to experiment with designing individual learner pathways. It sends a strong message to students, individually and collectively, that their learning matters. As a teacher, shift from being a lesson planner to becoming a designer of inclusive learning, and reflect on those pedagogic principles with learners by trying out different tasks and sequences. Thank you.